Fueling active kids. What kids really need to eat after sports and when. If you've ever handed your kids a healthy granola bar after evening football or swimming and then wondered why they're so wired at bedtime, then this video's for you. My name's Voysey, I'm a health coach and a mum, and today I'm diving into something I really wish I'd known when my kids were young. How food timing impacts their hormones, their sleep and their long-term health. We're talking about snacks after sport, insulin, blood sugar, growth hormones, and why it also matters when your kids eat, not just what they eat. So stick around, because this might change the way that you feed your family in the best possible way from henceforth. Chapter 1. Why does food timing matter for kids? So kids aren't just mini adults. Their hormones still obviously run on a circadian rhythm and their pancreas is still working hard for them. So insulin, the blood sugar storage hormone, and melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, are like two siblings who can't share a room. They can't sleep in the same room together because they just can't be together. So when insulin is high, melatonin stays low and vice versa, which means poor sleep. So if your child eats a sugary snack too close to bedtime, insulin stays high, melatonin stays low, and sleep becomes a battle. They don't need a rice cake or a sugary kids' yogurt at 8 p.m. They need real food and time to wind down after they've eaten it. So forget calories. Some of the lowest calorie foods, like the rice cakes, like the low-fat sugary yogurts, cause the biggest blood sugar spikes. And remember, low fat usually equals high sugar because skimmed milk has had the fat removed and it's been replaced with more of the milk containing lactose, which is the sugary part. So always favour, I nearly said flavour, always favour full fat options over low fat options, because when they take the fat out, in order to make that food still taste okay, they have to replace it with something, and usually that something is more sugar. And it will spike your blood sugar much, much higher than the full fat variety. So that's really key to understand. Chapter 2, the post-sport snack trap. Evening sport burns loads of energy, ramps up the appetite and hypes up the kids, hypes up your children. Cue snack frenzy. You know how hungry they are when they get home, or even before you even left the venue where you are. I remember doing sport as a kid and just wanting to eat straight away afterwards. That was the best bit. So typical go-to snacks after sports might be healthy granola bars, and I do that because they are absolutely packed with sugar. Look at the ingredients on them, and they've often got a list of ingredients as long as your arm, and they're expensive. Number 2, fruit yogurts, kids yogurts, colourful, pretty packaging with sprinkly bits and fruity corners. Terrible things. Sugary drinks, they're really diabolical because they don't even have any nutrition in them. Crackers, cereal bars, these are all going to spike insulin, spike blood sugar and disrupt sleep and reduce growth hormone, which peaks during deep sleep. So I've got a little friend, he's not so little now, who lives in the West Country in England, and he is very keen to get bigger. He wants to be a footballer. He would love to be a professional footballer like his granddad was, and he wants to get bigger. And I've been telling him about how he needs to eat more protein to enable himself to grow, but it's also about maximising that growth hormone when your child is asleep. And also, late night eating too close to bedtime is going to encourage fat storage. And yes, this is the same for kids, just like it is for us. So a better mindset is to think recovery rather than reward. So snacks should be high in protein, include natural fats, and be easy to digest. Because let's be absolutely clear here, we're not denying children food, we just want to give them better food that works with their biology rather than against it. Chapter 3, the best post-sport snack options. Got to give myself some really complicated chapter titles. Here's your cheat sheet. Boiled eggs. Boil a batch, keep them in the fridge. They're such a great snack. They're such a perfect little, perfectly packaged snack treat, aren't they? Cold roast chicken or turkey slices, if you buy those pre-made in packets, then check the ingredients. Full-fat Greek yogurt with a few berries thrown in. That's a much better option than one of those kids' yogurts. and probably cheaper as well. You can buy a big pot and then just give them a portion. Nut butter on apple slices or on a celery stick, if your kids eat celery. Cheese and cucumber, that's one that my kids used to love. Leftover dinner foods in small portions. You can portion them up and leave them in the fridge ready to be on hand when you need a healthy snack. If it looks like real food that you'd serve for lunch or dinner, then it's probably going to be better than anything with cartoon characters on the packet. And a pro tip is to finish snacks 60 to 90 minutes before bedtime, giving insulin time to drop back down again, letting melatonin start to rise, enabling your child to go into sleep in a rested fashion, ready for that deep restorative sleep, rather than eating something sugary too close to bedtime, hyping them up. Sleep never happens, or it becomes, or it destroys your evening. Chapter 4, why this matters long term. Type 2 diabetes used to be called adult onset diabetes, but not anymore. They had to rechristen it. Why? Because so many children are now suffering from type 2 diabetes, which is just absolutely tragic, I think. It's just so sad that this is what's come to pass in our society. We now see type 2 diabetes in children as young as 5 to 10 years old. And this is because of constant snacking, poor quality carbs, high in sugar, high sugar, low nutrition carbs, lack of movement. They don't even do sport in all schools anymore. Processed foods, high amounts of processed foods, which tends to mean foods with junk in them. Symptoms of type 2 diabetes can be really subtle. You might not even realise that your child is either borderline or has already got type 2 diabetes. But these are some of the symptoms that you can watch out for. So increased thirst, if your child's always thirsty, always tired, exhaustion, that's another sign of type 2 diabetes. Frequent urination, needing to pee often. I mean, looking back, this was me as a child. I was always needing the loo. Dark skin patches, especially around the neck and in the armpits. Frequent infections. The long-term effects are really, really serious, as you probably already know, but it is preventable. We can help out children by feeding them real whole foods, single ingredients, no packaging tricks, supporting healthy sleep and supporting good meal routines, explaining to them why food matters. And children love to be given information. They're like little sponges. They want to know the answers. They want to know the why, don't they? Always. Why? Why, mummy? Why do we do this? So explain it to them, teach it to them. Bring back home cooking. If you don't cook now, if you aren't somebody who cooks regularly, then maybe it's time to start. And teach your children how to cook. You teach a child to cook and you enable him to survive healthily for the rest of his life. If you don't teach children how to prepare food healthily, where are they ever going to learn? Because they don't teach it in school anymore. And if you don't know how to cook, then learn together. There are so many resources out there, and it's so easy to learn and then to build on what you know. So start with simple stuff and just work out from there. That's how I learned to cook. I just looked at the ingredients that were in the freezer because my mum and dad had gone out and there was no one making Sunday lunch. And I opened a recipe book, found a recipe for stew. This is a true story. This is actually what I did. I remember this. I must have been about 8 or 9, I suppose. Found a recipe, beef stew, found some beef, found some other ingredients and put them together and made a beef stew, and it was ready when they got back. And where were they? They were out riding. So by this time they'd bought me a pony and then they bought another one, and then they'd been out riding and they were out for hours. For anything with horses takes ages. And in those times when they weren't around, I taught myself to cook. So I was very interested in food. It does really help. So teach your kids to cook and you will be giving them skills, life skills that they'll be able to use for the rest of their lives. This isn't about being perfect. It's about giving our kids a shot at resilience and vitality and focus. So, should kids snack after sport? Yes, absolutely, but make it count. Protein, healthy fats and timing are your best friends. If they're hungry near bedtime, give them something that's not going to spike their insulin levels. Eggs barely move the blood sugar needle, and they come perfectly packaged, as I already said, so they're ideal food if they like eggs. And if they don't, I'm so sorry for you if they don't like eggs. They're such a great food. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with another parent. And if you'd like more behind the scenes stories and subscriber-only content, then please join my brand new email community. There's Mikey playing with his ball. Mikey dog, what are you doing? What are you doing? Where's the ball? Because your child's health isn't just about tonight's snack foods. It's about setting them up for a lifetime of good energy, mood balance and resilience. And if you love this video, try one of these two next. Till next time, stay strong, keep it simple and nourish, not punish. Bye for now. What? What's the matter?